Child of Markovia. That is what it keeps calling me. This twisted, nightmarish being has been after us, after me, for some time now. It speaks of Markovia, just like that woman in my dreams. What does it mean? She tried to tell me in the dreams, but I didn't understand. Do I have some other purpose to fulfill here? And why is this thing seemingly so hell-bent on killing me? Not even the holy symbol of Ravenkind is able to repel it. Will this be our end? Lathander, lend me your light, and I shall put an end to this. This is Red Moon role-playing.
The wind picks up, rolling in the fog over the old graveyard of Argynvostholt. Your goal, the tomb of Argynvost, is right before you. But one more obstacle stands in your way. Roman, despite your best efforts, you can feel this creature shall not be easily chased away. It has power, but perhaps not as much power as it should have. Still, the fight has begun. Everyone roll initiative.
8.
The creature looks towards you all and raises a hand. Before it, then immediately starts to shimmer some sort of globe or shield surrounding it. Roman, you are familiar, though you haven't seen them often, with globes of invulnerability. You know what that means. Although, that is an action. Roshik, it is your turn. What do you do as you are dashing past this creature? How does this work?
Well, I'm trying to, yes, dash past it. It means I double my speed for this turn.
Indeed. There will be an attack of opportunity, however, as he is blocking the doorway quite substantially.
I try to avoid it.
You dash past the creature. It brings down its palm as it attempts to intercept you as you dash past the creature. And the hand comes down upon your shoulder. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
18.
Biting cold floods through your body as you take 10 cold damage. However, you feel your muscles starting to seize up, and you are just about able to force yourself to continue moving. Though, again, you recall that feeling from before. It is not pleasant. It is not something you wish to happen again. Still, you continue moving and barrel into the mausoleum, where you are now inside, past the creature. What do you do?
I get into the mausoleum, trying to move my shoulder to get rid of that freezing feeling, and I shout out, "Argynvost, are you here?" And I make my way towards the altar, wanting to place the gem.
And you do, managing to get past the creature, into the mausoleum and place down the gem. And as you do so, you see the gem begin to glow ever so slightly. And you feel something in the mausoleum, some sort of presence. But for now you can see no more, for you are inside the mausoleum and cannot see outside. Roman, it is your turn. What do you do? Roshik has got inside the mausoleum. He has just about managed to get past this creature, though it did still touch him.
Yes, I see this creature in front of us, with his powerful magics protecting him. I hope that this combat will not last long. I do not believe that we are up to the challenge. We certainly won't be with that globe there, so I pray to Lathander to grant me the power to remove these magics, and I will cast Dispel Magic with casting level 4.
Excellent. You feel your Dispel Magic cast forth onto this protection. But it is a strong protection, Roman. You are going to need to roll to dispel.
18.
And with great concentration, though unfortunately it does take up your turn's action, you are able to funnel your magics and remove this shield that he has placed in front of him. You still have some movement, however. What do you do with that, if anything?
I call towards these revenants, the ones that were here. An enemy is here. We must take this one out. We are friends, but he is not our friend. I try to convince them to join the fight on our side, because surely they would be opposed to a being of death, of evil magic such as this one. They are, after all, in their lifetime at least, they were good.
Indeed, and your calls echo out into the manor, which, as you look behind you, you notice the tower. Something's starting to happen up there. You can see a glow of light. It's very faint, but that wasn't there a moment ago, Roman. Something is happening. Meanwhile, Esmeralda notices Roshek swiftly run past this creature. She has a moment of hesitation. And then she unleashes her weapons and roars in defiance and begins to attempt to attack the Lich standing before the mausoleum, brandishing her rapier and her hand axe. She strikes forward with her rapier, straight into the creature's heart. If it could look surprised, you'd think it would. This was a critical hit, and it does 20 points of damage. She brings round her rapier again to do another attack. You notice, Roman, as she does these attacks, the rapier has a slight glow on the edge, clearly enchanted. But this time, a shield appears in front of the creature. As a reaction, it must have cast it, and that attack does not hit, bouncing off this sudden shield that has appeared on this turn. The final attack comes round, and this time is a miss, as she seems to have been knocked off kilter by the resistance from this creature. Still, that blow to the chest went straight through and certainly made it grimace a little. Well, grimace as much as a skeletal being can. In response, you feel a fell energy on the wind as it rises its hands together and brings them down, and once again you see a familiar malaise spread out from it. You, Roman, are not close enough to have it affect you. Sadly, Roshek, you and Esmeralda are. Make a DC Constitution saving throw, please, Roshek.
I'm guessing another 18.
You feel this energy come upon you. It feels almost as if your life is being drained from you. You feel a wisp coming out of your mouth. You bite down your teeth hard to resist this effect. However, take 10 necrotic damage.
And I look at the stone and I say, "Oh, please work."
And Esmeralda, you notice Roman as well, for a moment stumbles back and looks alarmed, but she has an element of defiance about her, and you don't think she looks too bad for the moment. Roshek, as you look up, you notice this figure turning his attention upon you. He lets out an angered hiss. Your friends, child of Markovia, truly are a nuisance. And he turns his hand to you, Roshek, and casts a spell. You feel a horrible taint start to spread about you, Roshek. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
17.
It is not enough. You feel a strange presence come over you. Your breath feels as if poison. You feel poisoned. You feel badly affected by this attack known as Blight. And you take 25 necrotic damage.
And I let out a big gasp of exasperation. Can I still move?
It feels difficult, but you can. He does not move himself. You also have noticed that shield that was surrounding him seemed to have vanished, and the other smaller shield seemed to break after the attack of Esmeralda. It is now your turn, Roshek. What do you do?
Seeing this going on, I draw my longsword. There's no time to do anything but fight. Is he in within reaching distance for an attack, or do I need to lunge at him?
He would not be in melee distance at this point. You did, after all, dash past him to get to the mausoleum. He is, however, easily within movement range if you wish to make an attack.
Yes, I do. So I charge towards him, bringing my longsword up now. No use for a shield when I have when I'm fighting spells, I suppose. And I charge at him, and I try to act as if I'm more wounded than I am, and make my attack look a bit clumsy. So I make a feinting attack that I then bring up for the right moment to give such a good blow as I can. 28.
28 is a hit. Your attack is successful. Roll damage.
11.
And you charge forward, and your blade strikes into the side of this creature. It feels bony and solid underneath, but you feel a small part of it does seem to come away. Your attack does work after all. You notice the glow on your weapon, the enchantment. It can be harmed by your weapon. Yes, you feel it, and it grimaces in pain. Or again, as much a grimace as a skeletal being could give you, as it sort of lurches away from you ever so slightly.
As it lurches away, I keep my movements, and I bring down my blade for another attack. And that's 23.
Your attack is successful. Roll damage.
Good. And as my blade connects, I take the time to kick towards the being as well. I'm trying to wrestle it down to the ground and knock it prone. So that would be a DC 16. A strength DC 16 saving throw that he needs to make in order not to be knocked down prone.
You feel for a moment the creature start to descend to the ground as your attack successfully has the momentum to force him to the ground. But then you just see a weird shimmer about his body as he doesn't necessarily resist your strength, but more his body just floats back upwards. He is not knocked prone, but how much damage did he take?
He takes 18 damage.
The very act, though, of defying your strength costs this creature, Roshek. You can literally feel part of his side come off as your weapon shears through his mouldy, disgusting, rotting corpse. He actually lets out a grunt of pain, and I mean, this creature is so flimsy, Roshek. How much more of this can he withstand, powerful spellcaster or not? You feel yourself wondering, what else do you do? Is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
Excellent. And for a moment you suddenly feel a strange element of refreshing. You are outside the mausoleum now, after all, and you look to the tower, and you see suddenly a light begins to form, bright and glowing, lighting the night sky of this otherwise darkened area, and filling you with a sense of hope. The light from the tower is beginning to glow, and you feel invigorated, Roman. You feel as if you have an extra level of protection coming upon you. You now have +1 to your AC, and +1 to all saving throws. And it is your turn. What do you do?
I feel the power of this light, and I thank Lathander for it. But we need more. It is not enough. I call upon Lathander to bless my compatriots here, my friends, to protect them, to bring hope. And I cast Beacon of Hope upon Esmeralda and upon Roshek, giving them the strength to live through this death magic that this horrible creature is using, and hopefully leading to all of us leaving this place alive.
And your spell is cast, and you feel your blessing cover Esmeralda and Roshek. By the way, Roshek, you also feel the benefits of both the blessing and this new force. You also have +1 to your AC and +1 to all your saving throws. As the light from the tower shines down upon you, illuminating the area in a wonderful brilliance, for a moment, a small ray of hope seeming to be felt in the area. What else do you do?
This is the chance. This is the one chance we get to rid this world of this stinking piece of skeletal mage. And I feel encouraged to smite it. Is it my turn, or is it...
It is still Roman's turn. He's cast a spell. What else do you do?
I wait. I look back. I see as these are these revenants, these other creatures with the red glowing eyes behind us. Are they making a move? Are they simply observing the fight, or are they trying to join it?
You see, just about to come through into the mausoleum, Godfrey. He is looking with confusion at the scene before him, but he has got his weapon out and is looking at the individual in question as well. But he is only just about to come through the doorway while this is all going on. Still another round before they can even interact with things.
But they do seem to be focused upon our enemy, not upon us, yes.
Correct.
That is good news indeed, and I end my turn.
And as you do so, you notice the creature look towards you, and his voice intones in your mind, "Child of Markovia, always in the way, always disrupting. I will have my vengeance upon you." And he shoots his hand up, and a bolt of cold energy makes its way towards you. And it hits you in the shoulder, and you feel an intense cold sensation spread throughout your body. Take 14 cold damage.
I feel this pains, this cold, and I scream out a bit. But I remain committed. This creature will not defeat us. No, we are stronger, and with Lathander with us, we cannot lose.
Esmeralda seems reassured herself at the way the battle is going. She looks to you, Roshek. You are right by her side as she continues her assault upon the creature, her rapier and her hand axe. Both hands, she sort of just strikes out with a very artistic dance. The creature is able to sort of move aside from a few of her blows, but one does hit true. As it does so, once again, you feel that wave of energy and power come out from it. Both you and Esmeralda must make Constitution saves. Once again, Roshek. Keep in mind, you now have an additional +1 to that. Both of you do.
Was it with advantage as well?
No.
I roll an 8.
This time, both of you... This force is too much. You do notice, though, Roman, these kind of spells, like the creature is focusing on doing this. It takes up effort. It is not an effortless move he does as he spreads this field of death around him. But I'm afraid both of you take 20 necrotic damage. Roshek, you feel the gaze of this creature upon you. It seems infuriated, and it raises its hand, but its gaze, almost for a few seconds, seems to be between you and Roman. You wonder how much its hatred must be, Even at this moment, it maybe will spare you a strike to target Roman instead. But it simply bellows, "Child of Markovia!" Roman, its hand grasped towards you, and necromantic energies washing over your body. Make a constitution saving throw.
5.
That is not enough, Roman, as you for a moment succumb to the agony of having this blight rake your skin and your flesh. Take 28 necrotic damage.
I scream in pain again. I feel less confident now. He is so powerful. I can only pray for Lathander to guide us through this.
Roshek, it is your turn. The pain is so terrible. But he is right in front of you, and he seems to have lost a little bit of his balance as he's turned from you. It is your turn. What do you do? Surely victory if you just push a little further.
Feeling the energies come over me, I do not let out a shout, but merely a big sigh of exasperation. I just feel drained. I'm going to need to push through. We're going to need to destroy this being if we ever want to succeed. And I try yet again to make a fainting attack, lunging out first at one way, then circling about and letting the blade follow through.
Roll your attack.
It's 28.
28.
Does it hit?
It does indeed. It even hits through once again. You see this shield sort of form up, but your blade drives through it, the enchantment upon the blade shearing through this magical shield protection, and you strike into his core. Roll damage.
16.
And as you shear into him, you wrench back your weapon through his upper shoulder, and one of his arms comes straight off, spewing a weird black sludge. It is not blood. You do not feel blood has been in this creature for a long time, but still, its arm has come clean off as it looks down, turning its head back to you in perhaps a mild look of anger. What do you do next?
I follow up with another attack, putting the whole weight of my body against it, trying to push it and keep it on its defensive. But I roll a 16.
And yet you just sort of fall back a little, feeling so drained, so unfocused. And you see him look towards you and bring his hand down upon you. Although it is his other free hand, because of course one is now lying, spasming on the floor. And again you feel this cold running through you. Roll a constitution saving throw.
25.
Take 10 cold damage, but otherwise remain standing. Again, you just feel your whole body want to stop moving, but you refuse, though the cold is painful.
And that brings me down to below 0 hit points, but I use my relentless endurance, feeling the orcish blood refusing to give up. So I drop down to 1 hit point.
Indeed you do. Roman, it is your turn. Roshek is in trouble. He looks very close to the edge, but he just cleaved off this thing's arm. What do you do?
Yes, he is in need of assistance. I hold up my holy symbol of Lathander, and I pray for him to bring back life to my companion, to bring back the light that this creature of darkness has stolen from him. And he regains 33 hit points. And whatever remains I give to Esmeralda. She seems to be in better shape, and hopefully this will be enough. And then I go down on one knee. I feel weak. Very weak. But if we should have any hope of winning this battle, it is my companions who must do the work.
Indeed. And you then notice him focus his attention on you one more time and raise his hand as an Arctic blast fires at you, but he misses his body has almost in its floating kind of gone off kilter, especially at the loss of an arm, and he misses his attack upon you. Esmeralda notices the change in battle. She roars in defiance, however. She looks to you, Roshek, and she's concerned. She almost gets in the way of him and you as she takes up her attacks upon him. But she just isn't quite able to get a good position. She kind of flails her weapons at this creature. She is, after all, distracted by the pain she's going through, and they all seem to just miss or catch his clothing. She sort of scrambles in the way to defend you, but you do notice that he is preoccupied with, in a way, trying not to fall before her blows, and for once, he does not suddenly resummon that horrible energy from before. Though, he turns his attention on Esmeralda and just sort of growls in anger and tries to bring down his remaining hand upon her. But again, it just sort of falls by the wayside as these two are now almost in a very weird close proximity battle. He's clearly not used to this or skilled at it. He bellows in anger as Roshek, it is your turn. You can just see from the corner of your eye an individual is coming out of the building. One of these knights. But you don't have time to worry about that. This creature is directly in front of you and you are rejuvenated. What do you do?
I feel the surge of life coming through me, and I can see how my fainting attacks have worked. I've been able to trick him into lowering his guard several times, and I decide I'll have to try it one more time. This time, making it seem as if I'm fainting the same way again, but twisting around the other way, circling around him. I roll a 26.
Roll damage as you strike him from behind.
10.
And you feel his very presence almost finally fall down to the ground as he's actually standing as your blow brings him down. What do you do next?
Trying to muster my strength, I go through with another attack, hoping to follow up, and it's a natural 20.
Your attack brings him down. Tell me what you do with your final critical surge.
As I first feinted around him, attacking him from behind, I now kick down hard at his knee to get him in a worse position. As I get my foot on top of him, I lunge my blade straight through him, trying to pierce through to the heart, or his would-be heart, just where Esmeralda made such a good hit before, as that seemed to affect him hard.
And your blade strikes down, and you twist it. You just feel him finally, this figure just fall to the ground, spasm a little. You step back, your brain swimming with pain, if not for the healing you just received. That feeling was you were close to death there, Roshek, so very close. There's a moment of silence. As you, Roman, notice Godfrey sort of stepping out, looking at confusion, first at you, first at what was going on, and then towards the tower. The glowing white light, spreading now. It stopped getting bigger, but it is certainly a beacon in these dark lands. Silence comes across the graveyard for a moment, and you hear a hissing sound. You notice, looking down before you, the body is starting to decompose and shrivel away, but something is floating out of it, some sort of shadow. As this shadow floats out, you do not hear anything, Roshek, but you, Roman, hear in your mind, "Damn you, child of Markovia. Damn you to the burning hells. It's not over. I will have you. You cannot keep stopping me." And then the shadow dissipates into the wind, and a silence falls over the graveyard Esmeralda takes a moment to slump back against the gravestone, exhaustion plain on her features. What do you do, Roshek?
I lower my blade, looking down first at the remains, thinking to myself, wondering if these things actually can be killed. And then the light grabs my focus, and I look up at the tower, seeing the magnificence of the rays coming out of it now.
I sigh a sigh of relief. I breathe out. I feel the beacon still active, and I take this opportunity now that things have quieted down to heal myself and to heal my friends.
I think about how I was close. That was very close, and I feel the icy pain in my shoulder, the lurching necrotic pain of the rest of my body, how it's sort of shaking by the brute force of unnatural energies that have pulsed through it.
Yes, and I put my hand on your shoulder and I transfer some of the light of Lathander, giving you back 27 hit points.
Do you heal yourself at all, Roman?
Yes.
I shall say that this moment counts as a short rest as well.
Yes. I shall then channel divinity and I shall cast Cure Wounds on myself and on Esmeralda, bringing us all up to full health.
Indeed. And you taking a deep breath. You notice, as you are taking a moment to recover, after all you feel you have to, that during this time, Godfrey has vanished. But for now, you just focus on the moment and recovering. Esmeralda sort of stumbles over towards you. The body on the floor has already completely vanished now, nothing left but dust and those rags that it was wearing. What do you do, Roshek? You feel rejuvenated. You are having a short rest. It's not as good as a long rest, but perhaps it's enough for the moment.
I scrape off the dust and the slimy black substance from my blade, and I look warily up at Roman. That was close. That was really close. Do you think we destroyed it? For good?
No, it will be back. The spirits left that husk that it was within. He will come for us again, but we have shown him that we are not to be trifled with. And we are here, but with the grace of Lathander, he saved us. Let us hope that his grace will be upon us going forward as well. Now we have brought the light back to this place. I wonder what that has done to the spirits that dwell here. Will they be prepared to give up the blade now, I wonder?
I look around. Is Godfrey still here?
He is gone for the moment. Esmeralda is slowly coming over to you, looking better after the healing and the rest. Yes, I am afraid that creature will indeed come back after all. Liches can only be destroyed when their phylacteries are destroyed. I don't suppose you've seen any phylacteries lying around.
What do they look like? I say, seriously.
It depends on the lich. They are normally small, easy to hide, crystals or boxes or... You are not familiar with liches?
Should I be?
She laughs a little. I am sorry, I forgot I am not in the presence of seasoned monster hunters like myself and Van Richten. A lich is a being of great power, a wizard, mostly, or a sorcerer. They cast spells to ensure that they can live forever. The rituals are dark indeed, but they always require an encasing for the soul, a phylactery. This phylactery is what holds their essence, With the phylactery, they are now able to become undead beings capable of living forever, as long as the phylactery is safely somewhere stored and normally fed with new energies. Although, who the hell was this individual in the first place, and why, she looks to you, did he constantly seem angry at you, priest?
Yes. He is... He is holding a grudge, holding a hatred towards me. He's constantly referring to me as the child of Markovia. There is something there. There is parts to this story that have yet to be revealed. I am not certain what I have done to earn this hatred, but, well, I intend to repay it, and I intend to destroy him. He is a being of complete and utter evil, and such creatures must not be tolerated. No, not even in this land.
I agree. Still, strange. Child of Markovia. Wonder what that could mean. Saint Markovia did not have any children.
No, I suppose not. Well, the answers are out there, if we choose to search for them, but for now, we have a blade that needs to be gotten.
I grunt a bit at all this. Yeah, he did seem particularly angry at you, almost some sort of rivalry, and I sheathe the longsword. Maybe he just calls you that because you're a priest of the Morning Lord, that they call it here. Maybe that's something to do with that. Who knows? We destroyed him. We can destroy him. Let's keep our eyes open for small boxes and whatever you called it.
Phylacteries.
That's that thing, yeah, phylacteries. Yeah. And I nod towards the building. Looks like our friends have withdrawn. Maybe we should have a look and see if old Vladimir is suddenly finding himself cooperative.
Yes. Yes, let us do that. Should Godfrey be around, perhaps speaking to him will help. Let us see. Let us see. I breathe out again. That fight took out a lot of me, and the pain. I haven't felt that kind of pain, I think, ever. I am worried. I am legitimately worried about meeting this being again. I think we surprised him this time. He will not be surprised next time.
And you enter the chapel once more, leaving the night behind you. It is worth noting that while you do feel this glow and the light is bright, you still almost feel more like a pocket in the night. The night itself is not retreating. It is still present, maybe just a little receded. Still, you enter the chapel and notice the feeling is a little different now. It no longer feels so hostilely oppressive. It just feels empty. And yet, standing at the altar, you then notice a figure. Ethereal. Someone is standing at the altar, hair wispy, wearing an old suit of armor. It's emblazoned with a dragon upon its back. What do you do?
As I come in and see this, I look at Roman questioningly.
I speak and I say, "Greetings. Would you be Argynvost?"
The figure turns, and his likeness is indeed much like the painting. He nods once. Indeed, it is I. My thanks to you. Now my spirit will reside above and glow brightly over these lands. It is not the rest I saw for myself, but a better rest than any could ask in this land.
Yes, may you bring light back to this place where there's so little of it. I pray that your servants, your friends, that they too will find some rest in all of this. Perhaps this can be the first step in bringing back the light to all of this realm.
He tilts his head at you and nods. He seemed hesitant for a moment, though, mainly when you started speaking of this being a step towards light on the realms and rest for everyone. But it doesn't seem as if he has any more to say. He's already starting to dissipate, his energies flowing upwards. You feel, Roman, that his soul is now there, strengthened by his resting place, glowing out over these lands. And you then feel another presence behind you, and you turn and see another ethereal figure. This one is less tall, but has flowing hair. His countenance is young. He's looking at you. What do you do?
Flowing hair. Do I recognize this person?
Is it Godfrey?
Godfrey. Godfrey, is that you?
Yes, it is I, priest. You have my thanks. The light has reminded them all, reminded them that dwelling in hatred, there is no point. There is no point in clinging to that which we have lost. They have all passed on to the limbo now. It is not the rest we deserve, but it is better to at least let go and accept than hold on.
Yes, holding on to hatred, holding on to anger. No, it is not what Lathander, not what the Morning Lord prescribes for us. No, love, light, forgiveness, these are the feelings that we should hold on to, I say, in the way that I've been taught to say it, and yet in my heart I don't have enough of those feelings. I have many of the feelings that the denizens of this place held and perhaps still hold. But I say it, and I do so in a way that I at least believe is convincing.
This ethereal figure steps towards you. He seems to become more and more insubstantial as he comes closer. But you notice, Roshek, he does seem to be holding something that still seems solid.
I look up. What's that?
It is a hilt, and from it seems to be emanating a source of light. He comes and begins to offer it towards you, remarking, "The others are gone. I will join them soon. It will be painful for a time. After all, it's not true rest. But who knows? It's better than this, at least. Maybe we'll even be reformed in a newborn in these lands. Maybe then we can do some good. I apologize for them, my brethren, for Vladimir. He did not remember. He remembers now what we had. I remember now as well. At least we will be together for a little while. It is something."
I shrug, but I look at the hilt and what's coming out from it in awe, and I hold out my hand to take it.
And he presses into your hand this sword. Touches you for a moment. You feel a surge of something, and you see its light, its blade. It almost seems to be made of sunlight itself.
Is it a long sword, or is it a two-handed sword? How?
It is a long sword. That seems to be the size and dimension of the blade anyway.
Huh. I take it, and I take it in both hands, and I feel the grasp of the hilt, looking up at the light, and I say, not looking at Godfrey, but saying to him, "Well, seems like you had one more part to play." It's in the right hands now. I know it.
And as you say this, you feel a bit of a twinge, and the blade vanishes, leaving you with just a hilt that you are currently holding. Godfrey does not seem to pay this any attention as he turns his attention to Roman. You can see Roman, his spirit is starting to dissipate. Again, the pain of limbo will not be pleasant. You will join all the others waiting. But some of them come back here, at least. You have brought some hope to these lands. Your task is not yet done. I hope we will not see you soon.
I pray for much the same thing. We have a clear mission before us. We will bring the light back. We will slay the devil. That is what we have said that we will do. And that is what we will do. And thanks to you, we have now the means to do it. Rest in peace, Godfrey. I hope you will find true rest one day.
Perhaps, priest. Perhaps. Not quite yet. And he vanishes.
And as he vanishes, I shout after him, "Wait! It's... what's this? It's... the blade is... he's gone." And I look at the hilt.
You feel a disconnection from this weapon. And then you feel something in the blade. It's like it's speaking out to you, but it doesn't have words with which it can speak. But it's asking a question mentally. You feel, "What do you want of me?"
We needed you to destroy the devil, to restore these lands and end his evil reign of this place.
Will you bring vengeance?
Yes, I will bring vengeance without hesitation.
Vengeance. You feel an emanation from this blade. Roshek, you feel you will need more time, but maybe attuning to this weapon is what you need to understand it, but right now, it falls dormant in your hands again. But it is in your hands. This is the blade.
I stare at it with fascination. I've never been in contact with a powerful magical relic such as this before. Something that talks to me. It's like a living being. And I just stand there in awe, staring at it, feeling a strange mix of disappointment and awe and melancholia and excitement all at once.
Roman, what do you do? The mansion is silent now, merely feeling like an old tomb. Roshek is staring at his blade with fascination. Doesn't seem to be having any luck with it at the moment, but if it's a powerful magical item, attunement is always required. Esmeralda looks at you questioningly and simply remarks, "Well, what now?"
Yes, we must find a place to rest, and I suppose this is as good a place as any with this light, hopefully keeping the forces of darkness at bay. Yes, we must rest. We must prepare ourselves for the next step, what may become the final step in our journey, to bring these weapons to bear against the Count.
I know what we must do. We must celebrate. I'm sure there's a wine cellar in here. We have made a victory today, one of our greatest victories so far. This is the time to feast and to drink and to make plans.
Yes, Roshek, perhaps you are right. I suppose any wine we find here will be, well, sufficiently aged.
Ha ha ha! That it will.
And I begin to look for a place that seems safe to rest. I am assuming now that this place is all but completely deserted, all but completely quiet, all these other spirits having left.
You indeed are correct. You feel just a great emptiness here. Although as you take a moment to step out of the chapel, look around that dining room, you do hear a few chitterings coming from the west. Those spiders, after all, were merely in their home. Maybe best not to bother them.
Yes. I try to find one of the bedrooms. Yes. Perhaps the Lord's bedroom. That would be sufficient.
Taking a moment to move around this old, quiet mansion, you will, if you weren't back up to the stairways, you'll move up and you'll find a side chamber, a ruined bedroom. Esmeralda assists you in trying to find some food and wine, Roshek, but unfortunately, though you do find what seems to be on the lower level, a door that leads to a wine cellar, you are disappointed to bust in and find the barrels are full of nothing now but vinegar, the wine having long since soured.
Well, I should have expected this. Well, I suppose our current rations will suffice, and as I eat them, I think grumpily back on the fantastic meal that we shared with the Count, how much better that was, and if only he had been a proper ally, this would have been much more pleasant. And I eat some dry cheese.
Esmeralda seems to suggest that if you wish to rest here, this chamber would be good enough, and she secures the room, and you find yourselves together with a little bit of light from a cantrip spell, feeling secure enough in this building for now, at least for a night's rest, although she insists still on guard duty. After all, the building may be safe, but the outside certainly is not. What do you do before you rest?
Well, make sure the horses are all right. And, then nothing more than eat, clean my weapons, that kind of thing. Have a loose read in my little tattered book on battle tactics by Garrick Arneson.
I look at the Lord's library, or perhaps one of the other collections of books, should there be any around here, and trying to learn anything I can before I get too tired and before it is time to sleep.
You find nothing more that seems substantial, and you will begin to head to your room, although, as you look around, you can't help but take a moment to peek at the building's western side. There it's mainly ruined still, and you have a feeling you don't want to dwell too close. The spiders could be close, you see cobwebs. But you do notice in the dark of the night one other final thing. There is something, another light somewhere far off to the west. It's not as pleasant a light as your light, though. It seems to be the light of a fire. You think to yourself, to see it from here, it must be quite a large fire. Something is burning to the west, far away. Burning into the night sky.
What is that? What? To the west? What location may that be? One of the cities? What could it be?
The only things you recall being in that direction, Krezek perhaps, but the orientation is off. The vineyard was also to the west.
Oh no, the vineyard. They did say that they would come for them. Oh, those poor souls. I hope they have been able to get out of there. I point this out to Roshik as well, should he be close by. Point out this light in the distance.
Huh. Seems like there might not be many left to save in this land, except ourselves.
You're right. But then we shall save ourselves, shall we not? We will not give up. We will not lose this.
No, we won't. No, you're right. You're damned right. We will save ourselves. Together. The three of us. And Rudolph, if we find him. We will do this. We will do what we set out for. We've come more than halfway already. Imagine that. We actually made it into his castle and out again. With our prize. What a feat that was. What a feat that was. I've never done anything like it. Never, ever have I done anything like that.
Yes, we are not alone. There are powerful forces supporting us. Yes, this is an opportunity. Yes, we will bring back the light. Together, Roshek, together we will do this.
We will do it, and then we will have stories to tell for years to come.
Yes, we will. And you won't have to talk about the ogre so often, I say, and I smile.
And you both return to your chambers and rest. Roshek, your dreams are simple this night. You have the blade. Now you must merely move forwards and not hesitate. Yes, you remember that. No hesitation, that was important. But why would you hesitate? You will know what you need to strike down when the moment comes. Roman, your sleep is perhaps not quite as peaceful. You feel comforted by where you are resting. But a voice still nags at you. He said it himself, after all. Who's left to save? Save yourself, of course. But that is not the way of Lathander. It is not the way of Lathander to save only yourself and not spare a thought for anyone else. Have your actions been the right ones? You see for a moment in the dark of sleep your son, smiling, waving at you. He asks you this question. What do you respond? Father, you said always to save others, yet you've only saved yourself. Are you truly still a good priest?
I still believe in those things. I do. I stood up for my friends today. Yes, I saved them over saving myself. I put myself at risk. Yes, I'm not only about myself. No. But I cannot save everybody. I do not have that within my power. I am not Lathander. I am just a servant. Yes, I'm just a servant. That is all that I am. That is all that I am, but isn't that enough? Must I be everything?
All I know, Father, is I just wonder, would you still save me? If you could, would you try and save me?
I would, of course. How could you even ask such a thing? I would sacrifice my life to get you back. I would do anything for you, son. But you're gone. You're gone. There's no way to get you back. We both know this.
That is not true, Father. That is not true, and you just see him start to disappear into the darkness very slowly, and you just hear around you. That is not true at all, priest. Not true at all. And darkness descends upon you.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Curse of Strahd for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Curse of Strahd was designed by Christopher Perkins and based on the adventure Ravenloft, written by Tracy and Laura Hickman in 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is published by Wizards of the Coast. The music is created by Metatron Omega, Flowers for Body Snatchers, and Wordclock, and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more tasty dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us feedback, comments, and input there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a huge thank you to our growing base of supporters. You are truly amazing and inspire us so much to keep going with the show. If you haven't yet found us on Patreon, please have a look at the links in the description and see if you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work with the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters have access to extra material, such as our bonus Q&A podcast Ask for the Moon, where we discuss all topics and questions our Patreons have for us. You can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.